Hi and welcome to Women Rising. I'm Melissa Groom and I'm here with my special guest, Wendy McMurdo, the Sacred Mother Mentor. Did I get that right?
Well, I like to say the Sacred Motherhood Mentor.
Yes, Motherhood Mentor. I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us, Wendy, what do you do? What is your role in the world? Why do you think that you're here?
I'm here to inspire women to live beyond the cage of limitations, often formed from trauma and low self-esteem and low self-worth. I'm also here to inspire the mothers to reclaim this beautiful role of motherhood and to turn towards themselves and value this sacred role which is motherhood, because I believe that the mothers have this precious job of changing the lives for the future generations through their presence and their willingness to be seen and valued as mothers.
You see so much of that happening in the world right now, with women really setting boundaries and making changes and not tolerating things, because we as women have to set an example, not just for ourselves but for our children and for future generations, for other women all around the world that are watching. Because when we step up and we take the courage, as scary as it is, when we don't even know what's in front of us, then that then gives others permission to say, well, if she can do it, then maybe I can do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think this topic around boundaries is very important. As women, we are the teachers and the role models to our children. So it's vitally important that we, by our actions, show our children what it is to feel safe in our bodies, what it is to feel beautiful just as we are, to show them their value is just being who they are and that they are loved. And this is the message of the mother. The mother teaches her children through her presence and the connection that she can energetically make with them from her heart, that they are worthy and they are more than enough. And this is a topic which is talked about and brought to the table. And it is a beautiful thing that it's being brought to the table. And we as the mothers are to stand up, speak up, rise up.
Yes.
And I say, in the time of the rising mother, we're talking about rising women here. And rising mothers.
I think back to when I was growing up, and we were conditioned by the media that we had to look a certain way, we had to be a certain size, and there was a lot of pressure on us. But then I now look at my daughter and the fast-paced world that they live in, with all the social media and the expectations on them, and how does a mother instill these things in their child when we've got so much competition with the media, with the social media? How do you recommend and suggest to mothers that we connect with our children in this way?
So this is where we talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence now is identified as one of the most important life skills. So firstly, teaching our children how to become more mindful, to recognize their emotions, and it's really about learning practices.
Particularly the boys too.
Yeah. I mean, I have a son and 2 daughters, and I actually, as a mother, I must say I had to learn how to relate to my little boy. It seemed more natural to relate to my girls, but it is vitally important that we teach our boys respect for themselves and for the females in their lives, especially at this time when we are bringing to the table as well this topic
Yes.
of violence against women.
Yes. And what would your recommendation be to teach, especially men, young men, to respect themselves? Because I believe it comes back to men respecting themselves, because if they don't respect themselves, they won't respect other people, and that's where the problem is.
Self-love.
Yeah.
So I have been shown, because I do actually channel, and I speak in flow, and I write in flow, and I have been shown that when we also learn how to love our planet, love the earth, love the land, and love ourselves, it is this beautiful reciprocal experience of flow and healing. And this is back to the message of, you could say heal the mothers, heal the children, heal the planet. We could say heal the human. Heal the human through self-love. So really, if we bring it right to the most important point of this conversation, it's self-love.
Yeah.
And when the parent, whether it's the father or the mother, when the mother finds it within themselves to value themselves, to put themselves first, to trust themselves first, and also to forgive the past, to forgive the stories, because we all have stories.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for many of us, we have trauma. And so therefore we as the parents are to step up and find it within ourselves to love ourselves just as we are, with all of our prickles, and in fact to show our prickles, to show our fullness to our children. This is me. Love me as I am. And I stand up for you, my children, to show you that it's safe and it's okay to be just who you are. And to respect and to love your neighbour. It's back to those old values of love your neighbour, love thyself, love thy neighbour, and to develop emotional resilience, so that in this time of great change with social media and stimulation in the sense of technology, we have so much stimulation. So to learn the emotional intelligence, to know when to slow down and find stillness in self-love, and when to rise up and make your mark in the world and show your presence and be courageous and do the work that you came here to do in the world. And again, as the mother, we lead by example. We have stillness and we have strength. We have compassion and we have grit and courage and raw depth of passion. We show our children the fullness of who we are and inspire them to live beyond the limitations of old story, old programming, old outdated belief systems which no longer serve us or our children.
Beautiful. So tell us, Wendy, what was the pivotal moment in your life that brought you to the work that you're doing today?
Two things. Of course, I think any mum, when she births that baby into the world and that baby is put onto her chest, that bond is a beautiful thing. That's why it's a sacred bond. And the second thing really is that myself, as a woman who has suffered from not enoughness, it is generational. My children gave me the courage to step up and do things for myself that without them maybe I couldn't have done. So in my case, I live with chronic fatigue, autoimmune dysfunction, and 20 years of sickness, stillborn babies, and ultimately cervical cancer. So when the dark gift, that I call it, the dark gift came of cancer, I already had 2 little children. They were toddlers, and they gave me the courage to look at myself and hold myself firstly accountable to my own value. To find the courage to say, my life matters. I matter. And I am more than this old story. I am more than this generational old story of not enoughness and playing small and being nice, being the nice girl for everybody else.
The people pleaser.
The people pleaser, and most harsh and hard on myself. And my physical immune system suffered as I attacked myself with criticism and self-abuse.
Yeah.
So those two things, my children are the gift, and they gave me the gift of life because I could do for them what I couldn't do for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yeah.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Must have been a really hard time for you and your family.
It was, I think, yes, that was hard, but what was harder was when I lost my own mother to cancer. Because I'd already had cancer. And I could look at her in the eye, and this is a very important message I share now, but I could look at her and say to her, Mum, give yourself the gift of time and slowness and address these generational issues which have been plaguing us. But she couldn't do it. In the last month of her life, Mum said to me, Wendy, live your life. Again, what a mother could say to her child, but she couldn't do for herself. Live your life. And therefore I stand up for living our life to the fullest, breaking free from the cage and being powerful, passionate, defenders, one might say, this rite of passage for our children. That we clear the path forward for these children coming in of this old story.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. I think that message is so important that we need to do the work as women on ourselves. All of us want our children to succeed in life, but in order for that to happen, we need to heal us first and put ourselves first so that we can be the very best version of ourselves. And you know what? The most important thing I think you need to do is say, help. Please help me. I'm not okay. I'm not coping. Absolutely. That's the most powerful thing you can say to anybody. Because you don't have to be Superwoman, Wonder Woman, all this Wonder Woman stuff out. The Marvel movies was great, but I don't know, have you felt the pressure to be Wonder Woman? Save the world. We're trying to save our family and save ourselves, let alone save the world.
And Mel, I just say yesterday I said to my teenage daughter, we were having this conversation, and I said to her, one of the most important life skills you can have is to ask for help.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
I said it yesterday.
What a gift.
Because I said to her, you know, I went to the women's health centres. I reached out. That's been a game changer in my life, asking for help.
Yes.
So I gave her that wisdom yesterday.
Yes.
So you're on point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever you think that people will think about you, that you're weak, that you're not coping, it's so insignificant and so small compared to the change and the healing that will result in asking for help. So please, we really encourage you to reach out, if it's not your friend or family, a colleague, a neighbour, anybody. There's all these organisations around the world that you can ask for help. But why do we feel this pressure to hold it all together and be this strong woman? I don't know where that comes from. The pressure.
This, I think, a little bit goes back to the programming that women have been given around being perfect. To look a certain way, to act a certain way.
To have it all together.
And so we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's back to that key point. let's hope that you don't have to have a wake-up call like I did with cancer, or a myriad of other things.
Any tragedy, yeah.
Any tragedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's your beautiful message to give to all anyone watching. Yeah.
To value yourself and put yourself first, so that you can be strong for the ones that you love the most, which is your family and your children, your community, and this world.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'll put all of Wendy's contact details down below if you feel called to connect with her. She's doing amazing things out there in the world.
Thanks, Mel.
And just remember, you are incredible. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are so loved and so supported. And please, if you need help, just reach out. And there's someone there on the other line waiting to help you to be the best version of yourself. Until next time, we'll see you on the next interview on Women Rising.